word got out that the Strong Ohio Plan is going to return to the budget in the Ohio budgeting process. And so all of a sudden you started to reach out to your legislators and say, hey, you need to look for this in the budget and get it out. You need to stop it. And so in Ohio, they have done that. But it was that somebody has to read every bill, every law, looking for hidden little nuggets of trapdoors.
And some of it is secret codes, because what's Strong Ohio mean, and then knowing what they're trying to fit into it. Exactly.
So that's one of the things when people are like, what does the NRA do? Or what does this organization do? Or what does that organization do? Well, there's somebody whose job it is to read every bit of legislation. I mean, we saw gun restrictions and gun laws go into a parks and recreation bill. We've seen, in this case, like in a budget. I mean, they just stick it in wherever they think that they can do a happy little dance and
well, I was thinking that's how they get a lot of things done, is because they stick it into a bill that is going to pass, or they know is going to be forced to pass, because you have to pass the budget every so often. So they wait till the last minute and shove this stuff in there, and you don't have time to take it out or something. So they end up passing it, and some of it's just stupid stuff, like a couple $1 million so they can see how fast a shrimp can run on a treadmill or something.
I'm thinking he can't. Those little feet don't really run good, but yeah,
they don't know until they spend the money and
spend the money on the couple $1 million. But they slide it into everything, so you have to have a relationship with your elected officials, and then you need to talk to them, and you need to kind of figure out all of the pieces. So our video producer keeps putting up the switchboard for DC. And that is a great thing. So when you're looking at something on a federal level, you want to call the United States Capitol switchboard, and you can ask for your elected representative, be it the Senate, be it the House, and they will connect you directly. So you only have to have one number programmed into your phone, 1-202-224-3121. If you program 202-224, oops, I lost it. I lost the last, 3121. So 202-224-3121. Put that in your phone, and you can then get a hold of any of your DC-based elected representatives and let them know stuff. But then on the state level, you need to know who your senator is and who your representative is, so that you can contact them when you see an article like this one, which is saying that they're going to add the Strong Ohio Plan into the budget. And you should be very concerned about them taking that and shoving it into the budget. So, but let's go into the federal level now and talk about a couple different things.
Well, there's one that they got a group out of Texas that wants to make it so suppressors are no longer regulated. They're just like buying it,
just
a magazine
gun.
or a clip or a sling for your gun or something.
Okay.
They say that it's
an accessory.
Extra paperwork that's not necessary, and that they're not used in a crime. There's another guy, this Bob Menendez, I believe he's from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
He's trying to make it so that the suppressors are illegal altogether. Hear the weapon, save a life is their code.
I think the motorcycle people used to say loud pipes save lives. I think it was bunk then, and I think that there is this where it just doesn't, it doesn't work that way. When you're over in Europe and they have suppressors, they say that makes for polite neighbors.
Right. I mean, it's just good manners to keep your gun silent so that you don't have to be blasting away at the neighborhood.
And it doesn't make it silent. It just makes it whisper. It is a whole lot quieter. You still hear it. It's very obvious that it is a gun noise, but it doesn't hurt your hearing.
Mine takes the rifle sound down to about a pistol sound, but it doesn't make it like in the movies by no stretch of the imagination.
Not at all. Yeah. So then there's another bill that's out that wants to take all standard capacity magazines and outlaw them and make them to the point where they have to be 10-round magazines instead of 30-round magazines, and make them so that if they make them larger capacity, that they have to be serialized, they have to be tracked, they have to be registered, they have to work through the whole system, just like a gun, with a serial number, a unique identification number for your magazine. So there's so many different bills going on. What about that one?
Well, they want to raise the tax money that they get for the NFA stuff. So right now you pay $200 for a tax stamp.
Mm-hmm.
They want to raise it to $300, and they want to put a thing in so that it continues to climb with the economy. When it was written in 1934, the $200 stamp was meant to be prohibitive, so you wouldn't buy it, and it was equivalent of $3,925 in 2021 money. So.
Okay. Yeah, so you buy a suppressor or you buy a short-barreled rifle, and it would cost you an additional $4,000. That was kind of their intent.
The funny part, a new Tommy gun in 1929 cost $4,000. Well, it cost $200 from Sears and Roebuck. So
at that point, so
$4,000 for.
So it'd be $4,000 for the Tommy gun, $4,000 for the stamp in today's dollars back then.
The thing was, it's funny that they were planning on stopping, like Al Capone, who was making so much money, he didn't know what to do with it anyhow. So $200 to him wasn't much of a.
No, but the intent wasn't there. They're not stopping him. They're stopping you. They were using that opportunity because he did things to break the law, and they didn't prosecute him for those things. They couldn't catch him for a lot of those things. They knew they did them.
It's funny when you look at the military and that, like the SEAL teams and that, they use a 3-shot selector on their gun, and so they don't never flip it to the full auto part.
Mm-hmm.
And so it shoots 3 shots and then it resets, and so it keeps you on target better. It's kind of funny that everybody makes a big deal about the machine gun, but in reality, all it does is it eats up a lot of bullets. It's not very accurate. It's not practical. And
right, because have you ever shot a machine gun? And so the fully automatic, you pull the trigger, and the gun will start to climb. So each bullet hits subsequently higher, and so the gun will climb up to where you have to let off the gas and let it drop back down so you can start again. And then so that's why you hear the bursts.
And then some guns get so hot that they can't, you only get a couple of clips out of it before it starts to, a couple of magazines full out of it before it starts to overheating, and then you can't use it anyhow. So if you watch on YouTube, you can see people where they're torture testing like suppressors and that, and they'll shoot it until it starts to slumping down and the bullets start coming out of the side of the barrel.
Right, then it shoots itself. It's actually fairly entertaining watching one just melt down as they're shooting it. But
the gun was long ago not usable normally before it started to eat the side out of the barrel. But
Right. So they just were like, okay, I'm going there. So one of our listeners just came on and says, no more taxes. Don't make it cost prohibitive. I get it. I am with you 100%. So just them playing in the whole NFA thing is just another piece to keep an eye on.
Well, it's funny, they put the tax stamp on, and then in '86 they made it so that you couldn't make any new guns. So if you were a police or military, you can have new machine gun made, but the standard citizens can only play in what's available pre-1986. So that drove the price through the roof for the thing, and so there's just a finite number of machine guns that are registerable.
I didn't know if you were, since you heard the music, if you were watching the clock.
Yeah, I wouldn't know to look at the clock anyhow. My fucking, I got a backache down here. It's killing me.
Did you twist something wrong?
I don't know. It's like, it could be, I think, when I was at the doctor the other day, he said I have an infection, so he gave me some more antibiotics.
Back to kidney infection or something?
So it could be that I got something going on in my kidneys that's doing it, but it's like
did he do a P test? Is that how you said you had an infection?
Yeah.
So which doctor was this? Spector Smith?
No, Menard.
Oh, okay. So that's what caused it the first time, he said, right?
Right. So that's the thing, is when I went in the last time, we got the P test. They give you one every time you go indoors, and he's like, there was nothing in it before, except for a lot of sugar. So my sugar pills were working. So then this time I got an infection again. So you don't know why. So
Okay, so you're back to taking your diabetic pills?
I always take my sugar pill and my Flomax pill at night. But now they give me an antibiotic that I got to take for.
Okay.
I got to take it 2 times a day.
So I got Kyle coming to watch my little doggy, so I hope whatever Kyle did to him the last time, he doesn't do it again. Paul's like, so Paul thought the show was over at the 30-minute stage. He's like, I just. What?
It's time to invest in a projector.
Oops.
He's just going to wait that out. He's not getting out of there.
He's not going to do anything. And people forget about it. Okay, what did we talk about this last hour?
Here's the thing where the guy from Texas telling him to get the hell out of his stuff. Stay out of my stuff.
Okay, we are back. So, so this is let me see, today, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here. And so Sari Kim is sending out press releases. She is running for the Texas 6th Congressional District and is really giving the president, as my mother used to say, what for, right? She's just giving him taking him out behind the woodshed and giving him a spanking.
Well, and the guy, he's says he's an attorney, a senator,
so it's a gal, first generation Texas, named Sari Kim, and so she's a lifelong Texan attorney and a former administrative assistant for the U.S. Small Business Administration, appointed by Donald Trump, has then let President Joe Biden demand that he rescind all executive actions recently entitled gun control. So Texas is getting it that, or Texas is getting the opportunity to get it, that we stand firmly against your misguided gun control actions and unequivocally, that's not an easy word to say, unequivocally demand no unilateral executive actions infringing on our Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms.
I think some of this is like that they have to, it's like that everybody's dancing and things. Their first move is to say they wanted to restrict this or to rescind all these executive orders. Now then they can do something on their part to block whatever is going on. So
in their state.
So statewide, they're not going to listen to Nana. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Well, there is that, and this other part is that as they're running, I mean, we're sitting here watching in Ohio the new Senate race because Rob Portman said he's not running again, and so all of a sudden everybody's coming out. And what makes each one unique? What sets them apart?
Right, so if they can make a public statement that people think, well, that's the same way that I think, so I'm going to go with them.
Right.
It gives them some political street credit, I believe.
There is some of that because they've got to work to figure out how to stand out from the crowd.
Most people don't know anything about their elected officials except for what they see on TV. So if they're a loudmouth that the media loves, then they get a lot of playtime. If the media hates them, then they don't get any playtime. So.
Right. Well, actually, there's a middle tie. It's not even the ones the media hates, because the media hates them. They get airtime because they make fun of them. So look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look at Lauren Boebert. So the media just is jumping on, piling on, and calling them names. It's the ones in the middle that the media is apathetic to, but you don't even know they exist. Right. You know, because there's 435 of them. How many congressmen can you name out of that 435?
Right. I mean, there's like 15 of them that are famous for one reason or the other. They're either on TV all the time because they like them or because they make them look like buffoons.
Right. Exactly. And everybody in the middle, no.
I mean, it was kind of funny when Trump was on there. They would always tell you every tweet he made because they wanted to look like it was stupid that he did it. But if they wouldn't have told us about it, we wouldn't have never seen them.
Most people wouldn't have seen it at all. They just would have just blown right past it and gone on. Say, we've got a president? Wait, who's our president? Right?
Rush Limbaugh used to always say that if somebody says something about him, if he ignores it, then only the people who heard him say it. But if I say it, now millions of people hear it being said.
So he doesn't say, he just walks away from it.
So he says, by just ignoring it, now I can limit the number of people to hear it, and I don't have it has no impact on me.
Well, it's working for Cuomo right now because everybody's calling for this, for that, for the other, and he's like, I can't hear you. I'm just not hearing you. We're not doing nothing.
Well, it seems funny that he's kind of gone out of the news. They're not mentioning about the nursing home stuff. They're not hardly mentioning about.
They're not mentioning the Me Too's, the You Too's, any of that.
Right.
Nope. He's just going to wait it out, and everybody's going to forget. It's going to be a new news day,
and not say anything, and that's all of a sudden
and they will figure it out again, right? So, Portland rioters are back in the news. So they have barricaded the door and set fire to the ICE building with federal agents inside, with the intent to say, chanting, burn the precinct to the ground. Every city, every town, burn the precinct to the ground. Wow, somebody worked really hard to create a chant to say that. So here's my question. If you're in a mob that just set a building on fire, where's your position on, you're in that mob, it is no longer a peaceable protest? So is that where they get to arrest them? That's what they did on January 6th.
Was that where they allowed to start shooting at you? That's what they did on May 4th.
Well, there you go.
1970.
So it's really, I don't know. But based on what just happened in...
Pay attention. If you're in one of these mobs, things turn around fast.
Right. If you're in one of the mobs, stay on the edge of the mob and find an exit strategy, because there's a peaceable protest, which we are allowed to have. There's no, our government says that you have the right to peaceably, what is the word? I have to converge upon, to make a group, to stand together, and then you just can't But when it goes south, you're part. You are gauged with the company that you keep.
Well, and you're seeing this on this January 6th stuff where everybody who was on the camera, whether they did anything or not, they didn't go into the Capitol building or whatever. They're just being lumped together as one group. So we'll make you famous, I think is how they say it.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be going to be interesting to see what's happening. But they're still working on trying to identify people from the January 6th DC event. So are they working on the Portland rioters in the same way? So if you're in Portland, how bad is it in your town? How bad is it in your community? And do you not has it modified your life? Have you decided that I don't need to go out, I need to stay in at night, I'm not going into town, I really didn't need anything bad enough to leave the house today? What I'd love to hear from some of you. What is the impact to you and your life, and what changes have you made for your security, for you and your family? So 15 minutes of fame for you, says Andy Warhol. Got it. Everybody gets that somewhere. And yeah, but not as part of the mob. I don't, we really are back to when your mother says, pick your friends wisely, because you will be gauged by how they act in addition to how you act.
Well, it's funny, during the Revolutionary War, they have people for saying things like, give me liberty, give me death, or whatever. And in the 21 insurrection, they have a guy with a big smile on his face who's carrying a podium. That's his claim to fame.
Fame. Right. I don't think he said liberty. I don't think he said death. I think he said free stuff. Woohoo, look at me. And I don't actually think he took it out of the building. I think he was being a smart aleck, right. But it doesn't matter. When you're there, your friends are destroying stuff, and they've got a picture of you carrying some of the stuff that didn't, sort of like my TV, that didn't survive the encounter. You're responsible. Yeah, that makes it, maybe I have to fess up on the TV circumstance. You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can never pick your friend's nose. Those are wise words from our video producer. Man, he keeps us on the straight and narrow. So, hey, folks, see you next week. Thanks. Talk to you.